Doesn't the newspaper somebody have somebody that goes through all the police reports looking for a name that's memorable?
So
maybe not anymore.
It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I mean, he actually has dealt with quite a bit of adversity in his life, and as an accomplished athlete. But I don't.
How much has been brought on by himself, though?
Yeah, I'm talking like growing up as a kid and stuff. I was kind of surprised. Like, he does not seem to fit the MO of the rage-filled athlete.
If you
he does fit the MO of the playa athlete.
Yes, he
but
does.
He does not.
P-L-A-Y-A.
In fact, if you want, I mentioned this to you guys a few minutes ago, but if you want, there's a Vikings Entertainment Network video. I think it might have been Brian Robinson, the former defensive lineman. I can't remember who conducted it, but it's one of these walking through the locker room, talking to the guys kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And he asked at least between 5 and 10 different players, who's the one teammate you have that you would not want to date your sister? And they all said Stephon Diggs.
Oh, no.
Every single one of them said Stephon Diggs.
Never, okay, allegedly that he did this.
Never good. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Hopefully it's a misunderstanding and not true. But I mean, when he was
Troubling.
here, when he was here in Minnesota, I never heard of or read anything even remotely associated with him being
legal troubles. Yeah, I don't recall any myself.
So we'll reserve judgment, but I thought that was interesting. More good news today. Do you know that today we have just short of 4 minutes more of sunlight than we did 1 week ago?
I didn't know that, but I was at the airport today going down the escalator saying, it's December 30th. I wonder how many more minutes of sun, because I do play that game, and I was seriously thinking, how much more sunlight do we get? And you say it's 4 minutes. The sun is setting.
Not that I'm counting, but it's about 3 minutes and 40 seconds of more daylight than
I'll take it.
And it's always the sunset time, right? Because, yeah, we do increase it on both ends. But the sunset time, once it starts to get close to 5, you think, we're going to make it. We're going to get there.
Yeah.
We're going to get there.
And I can hear the social media types mocking me for saying this, but it really is. For some of us, not getting access to sunlight just turns me into a cranky old man.
It's because you've lived here your whole life, so you get it. Yeah.
When it's that 4:40 sundown and it starts to get dark, and you just it does weigh on you.
It sucks.
I want a nice 9 o'clock sunset. I better move to Alaska.
Yeah, it's going to be. I do think though it's not this year, but I think in the next 2 or 3 years you're going to see the United States move to permanent daylight saving time. I think we're gonna spring ahead. And it's going to stay there. I think we are reaching critical mass on this important issue.
Who would protest? The farmers don't need it anymore, do they?
Well, there's actually trade-offs with all these policies, right? So, one of them is during the winter, it's dark when kids are waiting by the school bus or walking to school. So people say there's more likely to be accidents, or the morning commute is going to be rougher because it's darker. But the big issue is that the switching. I never realized how many problems are caused when you fall back that hour.
Yeah.
It drives up, heart attacks go up. There's more workplace. It's
seriously?
Yes. Heart attacks, emergency room admissions and heart attacks go way up from that 1 hour. So
I do know, my wife and I have said this. We've noticed the difference. It's when you're going to bed, your bedtime. You play the game of, well, it's 10 o'clock really, but it's only 9 o'clock, and that's why you're tired, so you go to bed at 9 o'clock. There is a physical difference in the time for daylight savings time. I would agree.
You know who has the best reaction to it? Dogs.
Dogs?
Because dogs are I don't know what do you guys have dogs? Or?
I do not.
Yeah, I got a horse Pomeranian.
John, what kind of dog you got?
I got a pug.
Larry.
Larry the pug?
Larry the pug.
Okay, so does your dog have a very specific eating and sleeping time?
Yes, especially in the morning. So when time changes, that changes for him and me also.
Yeah, our dogs are very punctual when it comes to eating and sleeping. And for us, dinner time is 6 p.m. And we have 2 dogs. The one that's the blue heeler, she literally will just start giving you the death stare about 2 minutes early. And it's like clockwork. It's amazing. And she just sits and stares time to pay up.
I
One of
get
our-
the spin around from the Pomeranian. The spin around. It's time to eat. It's time to eat.
One of my favorite videos is the cat that's sitting by the dish and just banging on it while she's preparing a meal. Like, Linda, let's go here.
Hey, what are we doing?
It's 6 o'clock.
Well, in other news, so my other dog, he bit me the other day.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rabies? You got to go in for rabies?
No.
Willing to risk it.
No, not that. We have a very his name's Shadow. He's a great dog. We rescued him a while ago, but he comes from some trauma and there's some issues. But we have a very specific bedtime routine. I'm talking about the dogs and I. Nothing beyond that.
Yep.
So no, like my wife's a kindergarten teacher. My lovely wife Julie. She is a kid. She goes to bed at 8:00, and that's when the dogs go to bed. They hop up with her, and they're there, and that's their time. If I come in and try to interrupt that, there's problems. But I come to bed like 4 hours later, usually like midnight. And then I just kind of like, come on, Shadow. And he gets up and moves out of my spot. I lay down. And for whatever reason the other day, I went to pet him when he was laying down. Ooh. And his nose curled like when he's angry. And so I kind of pulled my hand back. And then I was like, it was kind of dimly lit, I'm like, okay, it's fine. So I went to go pet him. And he just took a chunk out of my right hand.
Wow.
Got my, and the sad part about it, of course, I'm pissed. Right, I'm like, bah!
Right, hey.
But I kick him out of the bed. He has his time out. He comes back about 3 minutes later, and he's just like, "Man, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, baby."
Be friends again.
No, literally, I was laying there with my eyes closed. He comes over, he starts licking my elbow. He's like, "Dude, I know I was wrong. I'm sorry."
You should have given. Hey, it's too soon. It's too soon. Okay.
Well, it's just, and he's the best dog, and I don't know what happened to him before we got him. Some clowns, but he just freaks out when this happens, and you can just tell he's like, yeah, it was my bad. I know.
He's that hungover friend Sunday morning.
Oh,
Like, dude, I really shouldn't have did that at
Dude,
the bar last night.
I didn't know that was your girlfriend. Come on. It's like, So anyways, but there are more important things going on. You guys don't, do we really need to talk about, apparently there's a fraud problem in Minnesota.
What? Say what?
Yeah, so
Well, thank goodness Walls has assigned this task force team to really get to the bottom of all this.
yeah, for me, there's a little bit of dark humor in this, in that, like, we've been talking about this for a dozen years. It's just like, and I don't know if people thought we were lying or guys like me were making stories up or something, but it's obviously, we're all learning now that it's all true.
Do you remember the very first time and what year and when it was that you and others or whoever it was raised your hand and said, we've got a problem here?
I remember the exact moment.
When was it?
It was 2010. A constituent from Hastings came in. And it was a guy I did not know, just knew he lived in the district. Sat down with them, and he's like, I've got to tell you what's going on. Do you know what personal care attendants are? And I'm like, well, yeah, I meant kind of, I loosely familiar with it. And he walked me through what he was seeing. And he was credible, and I won't go from where it went from there, but it struck me as like that must be like a one-off, like it was odd. That was the first time that I heard about what was like, it's kind of like, like this, we got some problems here. It's not like, but even at that time, I thought maybe it was a one-off or
This is 2010, and this is someone from Hastings, you said?
Well, Ravenna Township.
Sure,
but yeah,
sure,
yeah.
sure.
So that was the first time that I, as in a legislative capacity, had gotten tipped off like, hey, our programs are being abused. And then from there, it went into the home daycare stuff. And that was the stuff that, this is where people started flipping into denying it. But there's ample committee records and speeches and press releases, and even some members of the local media. You guys have had Bill Glahn on before.
Yep.
Bill Glahn,
Yes.
who is the 2025 World Champion "See, I Told You So" winner this year. This poor guy. No, I mean,
You're right.
No, he did.
Yeah.
He laid all of this out: the addresses, the people, how it worked, and for that he was accused of. They accused him of lying. They
Islamophobia,
all the standard playbooks, and Boy, that guy is spot on right. And I do take humor now in these national news outlets like, oh, we're breaking this story. It's like we've been talking about this for a dozen years. But anyways, so there's some new stuff now. I think a lot of people are exhaustively talking about this. It is, if you haven't figured it out yet, folks, I'll just give you this little advice that this is not going anywhere. This is not going away. This is the tip of the iceberg. And we are just now beginning to be exposed to what is the widespread, and I'll use the word abuse, of state resources. It's not just the 14 programs that the U.S. Attorney's Office has labeled as high risk and the Medicaid waiver programs. It's not just the home daycare, the daycare stuff. This is systemic and pervasive, and it's not going anywhere. So you'll be hearing more about that. But there's going to be something.
Seems to be one demographic that's continually involved in a lot of this fraud.
Well, that's a matter of opinion. We can talk about that later because I think now is a time to pay some bills.
Yes, it is. Let's talk about North American Banking Company. Banking done differently. They won't expose you to fraud. No. Far from it. Because they've been investing in your success since 1998. And way back then, they decided to make a better banking experience. And you get that feeling anytime that you walk into any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations, whether it's 50th in France, Roseville, Woodbury, Hastings, Shoreview, and also Maple Grove. They offer all of the same online and updated mobile banking options as those other big national banks. I use them every single day. They're phenomenal. But see it for yourself. Check them out online. It's nabankco.com to learn more. Once again, it's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender.
Here's a man that's going to do an ad when we return. It's not Joe Souchere. It's not Joe Souchere. It's the Rook here. WelterHeating.com has got a brand new website, a really nice, crisp, and clean look. And if you have a heating unit that is on the brink, making funny noises, do you really want to mess with that in January, February, whatever the case may be? Absolutely not. You would rather have a 4-generation family. 4 generations of Welters have been heating and cooling Twin Cities metro area homes for over almost 120 years. Did that make sense? For almost 120 years. Yes, it's Ray and Welter that I'm talking about. Rick's holding the reins right now at Welter. Online at welterheating.com. If you want to go old school, you can make an appointment via the telephone, 612-825-6867. The reason Welter advertises on the Garage Logic podcast, well, they're busy, so it's not like they're trying to drum up new business, but they do know that all of you garage logicians, you want to keep Welter's name in mind. Put that name on the docket, so to speak, and that phone number, so when you do need that quick fix, they've got 24/7 workers that are certified that will come out and fix that heating unit, prepare that air conditioning unit, or that air purification system. I trust them. They've done work in my home. Please trust them yourselves. WelterHeating.com. Let them know that the Rook sent you. This winter, warm up your shelter with the fine folks at Ray N. Welter.
So we were talking about the situation with fraud, and I don't want to talk a lot about it because enough people are doing it right now. It's developed into what's pretty obviously clear. The bottom is rusting out, and it's going to be a pretty extensive investigation. But I do want to just kind of give people 2 things to look for. The first thing is there's something in the legislative process, and I know this because I was there for 20 years. There are different ways the legislature appropriates money. Sometimes it's like we're going to give this amount of money to schools, or we give them this amount of money to prisons. There are also things that are called legislatively directed appropriations. And what this means is the legislature will specify, rather than putting it into a scoring-based system that people will apply for and a panel determines the winners, the legislature will just say, hey, here's $300,000. You're going to give it to nonprofit A. Or, hey, here's $3 million. You're going to give it to nonprofit B. And I think at some point here, relatively soon, you're going to start seeing people scouring through the legislative directed appropriations, the ones that are specified to specific nonprofits, and they're going to start looking at the reports, and they're going to start seeing where that money was spent or not spent. And I think that's going to be something that's going to be of deep concern, particularly when you had, in the post-COVID environment where you had maybe some of it well-intentioned. During COVID, they were just throwing money at everything. But then after COVID, Minnesota had this $18 billion surplus. And
Walz was going to give $2,000 to every resident in the state of Minnesota upon his reelection.
We'll put that to the side. There's
Sorry.
plenty of,
Remember it was Walz box with his face on the check and the whole deal?
There's plenty of people talking about that stuff. We want to have a unique conversation.
Sorry.
I think that you are going to see greater focus now on these legislatively directed appropriations, where literally state employees were told, you will give this amount of money to this nonprofit, and you will do it now. And again, we had an $18 billion surplus. And as someone who served in the legislature during that, I'll tell you, the mindset was, you better do it now because who knows what the next election is going to turn out. And so they got the money out the door quickly on a whole bunch of things. And not all of it was bad, but some of it was. And so I think you're going to start seeing a renewed focus around legislative directed appropriations in 2023 and 2024.
Who sets that standard? Is that voted upon? Is that something?
Just gets rolled into a bill. So you've got, you've got a bill that funds economic development, energy policy, other issues. It's rolled into, you've heard the term omnibus bill. Mm-hmm. These things get rolled into a 78-page piece, 100-page piece of legislation.
And everybody reads every sentence of those 78 pages.
Some of us do.
Yeah.
I mean, some of us are a little bit nerdy and like to know this, but generally there's a very conformist attitude, especially in that environment where you had unified DFL control and one party's in total control. And the thinking is, listen, if you're sitting at the table, then you vote for everything. If you're not at the table, you vote against everything. That's certainly the easy way to do it. But there still are some people who read the bills and like to know what's going on them. But this is nothing more than in those bills they would say the commissioner shall appropriate this many millions of dollars to this nonprofit for this purpose. And they don't have to compete against other nonprofits or even government entities. The vetting is really subject to the author of the bill. And you can highlight things, but I think that you are going to see a renewed focus. And again, this is nothing new. This has been going on for a while, but I think now, in light of what has been happening in Minnesota, people are now, I think the Twin Cities media now feels a little bit more of a responsibility and maybe a little bit more motivation to look into this stuff. And so I think you're going to want to keep an eye on that in the months ahead. These legislative appropriations, without naming any names, there's some people who've been getting rich off the taxpayer. So,
but what's the goal of the legislature right now, what you're talking about going forward? Is it finding where this fraud was and being accountable, or is it that's done, we can't do it now in the future? What's the mindset of the players?
Well, it's going to be a matter of perspective of who the individual players are. Certainly, one of the narratives you're seeing being developed right now is that those from like the government union side are saying, well, this is why we shouldn't be sending this money outside of state government. If you want to help people, let's have state employees do this work. Let's have state employees, and you're going to have much more. You're not going to have this corruption because these are unionized state employees who we're hiring and vetting, and you're going to get this high quality level of service for these nonprofits that you're getting from your Department of Motor Vehicles. That's one of the narratives you're hearing right now.
Okay.
Another one is that, like, well, it's too late. We just got to look forward. We can't look backward. And there still is, believe it or not, there is a healthy level of denial going on right now. There are some people who still insist, like, there isn't a problem. That there really isn't.
Do they believe that, or is this just a case of CYA?
No, I mean, I think you look at the way people consume information and news right now. It is so siloed and so isolated. Right. If you go out and look at MSNBC, or if you go out on like the Blue Sky social media platform, people will tell you this is just racism. This is just targeted racism. Why aren't we talking about the healthcare executives who engaged in fraud and got pardoned by Trump? Like, this is just a distraction from. And they truly believe it. And the problem is that as people get their information more and more siloed, they believe they get a customized, curated feed confirming what they already believe. But in terms of the legislature, I think obviously, I mean, this is a problem. I'm stating the obvious, but I can't emphasize it enough. It's not new. But you know what is new? What is coming? In 2 days, we have a new state program coming online in Minnesota. Would you like to hear about it?
Yes, please.
Yes. So this is the Minnesota Paid Family Leave Mandate. This will start January 1st, and it's a complex program, but essentially what it says is that, like most Western societies, the state of Minnesota is now going to have a mandate that if you work, you're going to get up to 20 weeks paid leave on a sliding scale, depending upon what you make, to take care of a loved one if they're sick or if they need care, to bond with a new child. And much like feeding hungry kids or providing affordable daycare, it sounds really good. Would you like to know some of the details of the bill?
Yes,
would you guys
please.
Like to?
Go ahead.
I thought you would. I thought you guys would. So. And again, it's one of these things that we can have a reasonable debate about whether there should be a paid family leave mandate in America.
And most companies, by the way, already provide something very similar to this.
It's hit or miss, right?
Yeah.
Certainly bigger companies, it's part of their benefits. Other places, smaller businesses that are flexible, they may do it on a case-by-case basis. The employee who's been there 20 years and is super reliable, they may have a different benefit set than the person who's been there less than a year and works on a part-time basis. So, local business, like small businesses may respond to it differently than a Fortune 500 company would. But the important thing is, like, there's a debate about, should the state come in and mandate this? But that debate was had. This was passed back in 2023, and it's taken a long time for the state of Minnesota to build an insurance company within the government. That's what they're doing, and it rolls out in 2 days. Now, there's a lot of things that play into it, but I want to highlight a couple of, let's just say, concerns that I have with
Should I get the rim shot ready?
The concerns with the bill. The first concern I have is that you, get ready for it, you do not have to be working to take paid leave. No, and this is true. And I know for listeners who are listening to this, you may be like, wait, is this guy spouting some sort of hypothetical talking point? Is it someone abusing the system? This is not abuse of the system. This is not fraud. This is the way the bill is designed. And
so wait a minute. If I'm homeless and I'm on the corner of 5th and Hennepin.
No. That's different.
Okay.
So what we're saying is, if you have worked at some point in the last year. So let me give you the most practical application of this. We have many people who are paid to work 9 months out of the year.
Sure. Yep.
Teachers come up to example. People who work in the construction trade, maybe seasonal workers.
Yeah,
work
many people
less.
get laid off in the winter and whatnot. Absolutely. Yep.
Right. And so when you are not scheduled to work or go to work, you are still eligible for this new paid family leave benefit. So the paid leave department, they don't write the law. They have to enforce it. They have issued a memo called Paid Leave for Educators. If you're watching on YouTube, I can show it to you. And it says, this document provides answers to common questions about paid leave for educators. First question, can teachers take paid leave when they're not scheduled to work? This is the very first line. The answer is yes. Teachers can take paid leave when they are not scheduled to work if they otherwise meet all eligibility requirements. And so what that means is, if you have worked from September through June, and again, it's not just teachers, construction, seasonal workers, it's the same thing. You're going to be able to access these leave benefits when you're not working. And you would think that when you take leave, it would mean you're leaving something to,
right?
But not with this program, no. And so let me give you a very specific hypothetical. And I'm not picking on teachers. I'm married to a teacher, but it's the easiest one to understand. So let's say,
or you were when you left this morning.
Yeah. So let's say that there's a teacher. He teaches 5th grade, and his wife has a kid in January. So he takes 2 weeks off during the school year, help acclimate, bond with the kid, be home, right?
Yep.
He then goes back to work. He finishes up the school year January through the end of May. It's now summertime. Okay, he's not paid to work. He doesn't have responsibilities.
She
for work.
might have to go back to work, right? Because her maternity leave would be over. Is that what you're trying to suggest?
No.
Gotcha.
I'm saying the woman has the kid. This is her husband.
Gotcha.
Right. So
Yep.
husband uses 2 weeks of leave during the school year. Now the school year is over. He's going to be home. He's not working during the summer. He can now take another 10 weeks paid leave during the summer, even though he's going to be home either way. He's not working. And this is one of the problems with this. Another problem we have is if you're self-employed, you can voluntarily choose to jump into this paid leave pool.
Wow.
So yeah, you're paid leave, you're paying yourself, you're working, and then you have a kid, you adopt someone, maybe you've got a relative in another state who requires some care. Maybe it's the winter and you've got someone who you need to take care of.
In Arizona.
Yeah,
Florida,
Naples,
Christmas
like
time.
Marco
Right.
Island.
You can take up to 12 weeks. You're an Uber driver. You decide to opt into the pool and you pay your premiums for, let's say, 2 or 3 months. You can collect 20 weeks of benefits, up to 20 weeks of benefits, 20 stacking if you do the family and then the medical. And so all of this, so again, you have this program that has been designed this way. When you utilize these benefits, the first week, You're drawing from the pool. You don't have to use your sick time. You don't have to use your PTO. You can use it to plus you up because you don't get 100% wage replacement, but you do get, you start out at 85% wage replacement.
Yeah, I thought, isn't it 90 or somewhere between?
Well, it starts out at 85%, and then the more you make, your percentage slides down. And the reason why is that the benefit is capped at about $2,850 every 2 weeks. Okay? So,
And if you don't think Minnesotans are going to figure this crap out, they're going to jump right on it and use the hell out of it.
You can say shit. It's all right.
Yeah, that's true.
You're usually good for a couple of those every time you come on.
Yeah, so it's so there's a little bit more that people are going to want to know about this, and I think we'll talk about that after the next break. We'll talk about how much is getting paid and what other states have done when they've got this. But again, this is already passed. It's already law. And it's going live in 48 hours.
Boy, I'm exhausted and I'm thirsty. That's why I have Hofferman water and Connecticut. And you know why? On account of, you want to know why?
Yeah.
The best water treatment system known to man. You see, here's the deal. I started out as a customer of Hofferman water and Connecticut years ago, and they have made an amazing difference in the quality of the water inside of my home. And here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Bad water can affect almost every aspect of your home, but you get on that schedule, you have them come up for that free water analysis, and it will do an amazing job to protect your appliances, whether it's cooking, whether it's laundry, showers, everything is better with Hofferman water and Connecticut. But get on that schedule today, 612-895-2440, or book your appointment online at hoffermanwater.com. And as long as you're on that website, you can see every single different water treatment system that they have to offer. 612-895-2440, or visit hoffermanwater.com. Hofferman Water has been proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years. Please do me a favor and mention that you heard about them here on the Garage Logic Podcast.
I was 17, my old man was 55. If you do the math between the two of us, that's 72 years of life. An eternity, so it seemed to me. How could anything live that long? Now I say my folks were only 84 the year that they passed on. For a little while it seems you got time to choose your dreams. Pretty soon you look around and you see 100 years ain't what it used to be. And my grandpa Roy, when he was a boy in 1904, he was taught by men who fought in the actual Civil War. And only 8 decades passed, and my high school class put the tassels on the other side. Started on our way full of naivete on the great American ride. The months and years slide past, each more quickly than the last. Pretty soon you look around and you'll see 100 years ain't what it used to be. Oh, Johnny! Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Johnny, hey! Oh, yeah!
Did the guitar face. Ibuprofen's under buy again in my online shopping cart. Every week I learn of something else I should be doing for my heart. If I use the wrong pillow, I might have trouble getting out of bed. My hair grows in my ears and nose now more than on my head. close to that time than this year as I sing this song. And I'm starting to find I can wrap my mind around life is brief and dear. I can hardly believe my baby girl's turned 26 this year. For a little while it seems you got time to choose your dreams. Pretty soon you look around and you'll see everybody. 100 years ain't what it used to be. Before you know it, you're 63, making plans for Medicare A and B. You look around yourself and you see 100 years ain't what it used to be.
one and only John Hay.
Thanks very much there, partner.
Cowboy.
One sports note before we get to news. Kevin Williams has been named a finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame again.
Right.
Former Viking standout defensive tackle was one of 15 finalists announced today. Those finalists also include Minnesota native Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees, Reggie Wayne, Frank Gore, Adam Vinatieri, Eli Manning, and several others. This will be, as I said, Williams' sixth year of eligibility. First time being
that's an
refresh my
impressive
memory,
cast.
please. Baseball writers vote in Hall of Fame members for MLB. Who votes in football?
The way Royce explains it is, I think it's Mark Craig is the Vikings representative now. Sid was for the longest time, and he presents to the panel why he believes, like for instance, Kevin Williams should be elected.
So it's a panel of just randomly select. It's not like the Football Writers of America. Or?
That I don't know how that process works,
Okay.
but it's extensive. There's many people, but it's not baseball where you hit a certain percentage, or maybe it is, and it's just not as public as it is with baseball. So I
Gotcha.
don't know.
Okay.
But I do believe Mark Craig is now the representative for any Viking player that's nominated.
Got it.
In news, over 6 months after his family survived that shooting, Senator John Hoffman has announced he is running for re-election. In a Facebook post, Hoffman said he's seeking re-election to keep leading with dignity. He said Minnesotans are tired of the vitriol. We've seen firsthand where hate and dehumanization can lead. My family survived it. Leadership matters and decency matters.
Is that shocking that he's deciding to run?
Well, I guess I'm friends with John, so I talked with him about it private. I
okay.
don't know if it was public or not, but I mean, I'm really glad to see that Senator Hoffman's running again.
Because I could see how someone would say, I don't want to deal with this anymore.
No, I don't think anyone would fault him, but I think it's just people respond to this stuff in a different way, and he's
Sure.
he's a fighter, and he's got as usual, we have these conversations that you can say privately but not publicly, but he's a fighter, right?
Yeah.
So you can imagine he's got some pretty strong views about the.
You're not going to defeat me. I got you.
Yeah. I mean,
sure.
but also the asshole who shot him, right? Like
Yeah.
he's very much a feisty scrapper, and I'm really glad that he's running again. I think it's a good thing, and so it's I'm glad that he came out publicly and said what he's been saying privately.
Update to a story we had yesterday. That man now has been charged with murder after assaulting the hospital security guard who later died in Wyoming, Minnesota. Officers had been called to an M Health Fairview Lakes Hospital on Christmas. The report of a man leaving the emergency department despite a medical hold. The man, identified as 35-year-old Jonathan Winch, had pushed past the large magnetic doors and left the emergency department, according to the complaint. A responding officer found an unconscious security guard lying next to a security vehicle that had its lights activated. Winch was seen trying to get into the vehicle, according to the documents. The officer actively fought with Winch for several minutes, even tried tasing him before other officers got to the scene and helped with the arrest. During the fight, Winch said multiple times, "I didn't mean to hurt her," according to the documents. The security guard, identified as 43-year-old Andrea Merrill, was brought to the hospital with severe head trauma, bad breathing, and a very weak pulse. Surveillance video showed two people near the security vehicle appearing to engage in a physical struggle. Merrill died of her injuries on Saturday. The Ramsey County Medical Examiner determined her death to be a homicide, the cause being traumatic head injuries due to physical assaults.
And do we know, did these two know each other?
No.
They did not. Was this random?
No, this
Well,
guy
he was trying to escape.
he was under a psychiatric hold.
Okay.
I should not say psychiatric because I don't know that, but he was under a medical hold.
Wow. Okay.
So, but no, this is why when people see like these videos of why is this security guard overreacting or whatever, this is why.
Right.
Right? I mean, if someone gets on
You don't know what they're thinking.
right, someone gets on top of you, and even if they don't have weapons, they can
mess you up.
Yeah, I mean, you got a hard surface underneath you, and that's unfortunately what happened to this woman. It's just awful. And so, cut those law officers and security guards some give them some room.
Yeah.
Cut them some slack.
Story we've been talking about. Top officials in the administration of President Trump are directing more federal law enforcement resources to investigate those allegations of government fraud in Minnesota, a move that comes in the wake of a viral video claiming significant abuse in Somali-run daycare programs. The 43-minute video posted to social media platforms on Friday by 23-year-old YouTube creator Nick Shirley showed what appeared to be empty daycare centers in Minneapolis and claims to expose millions of dollars in fraud in the state's largely federally funded child care program. The video is based on existing allegations about fraud in Minnesota's child care program, which until recently was run by the state's Department of Human Services, now is under the authority of the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, a spin-off agency. In the video, Shirley visits numerous daycares, including Quality Learning Center, which had already been under investigation by state officials for various violations and had collected $7.8 million from the state since 2019. That, according to a report from our friends last January down at KSTP 5 Eyewitness News.
I did not see the video, you guys, but did Nick Shirley get the same beautiful quote that Jay Coles did months ago? Remember the home run quote when she looked in the camera and said, day here at night. Meaning
I
that's,
did not. No,
that's
I
why
don't.
there was
I don't
no
think
one
that
there
was part
during
of
the
it,
day
yes.
because
They
she
are
said they
here
were all
at
here
night.
at night.
Yeah.
Because that's when you need daycare the most, is at
Right,
night.
100%.
Well, you can also, if you say you're open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., you can bill more hours. It's more money.
That's true.
You
That's
know?
a good
And
point.
you can claim more students. It's a sweet racket. I'm gonna open the Garofalo daycare.
Are you really?
Daycare World, open 24/7.
But keep in mind, this daycare stuff, this is all separate from the 14 high-risk Medicaid waiver programs that the DOJ has been involved in. And folks, I'm not trying to be
unbelievable.
I'm not trying to be cynical or negative. Like,
No, please.
We've been talking about this for over a decade.
Well, you said 2010.
Well, so PCA was a separate thing, but like you can go back and read the Office of the Legislative Auditor reports. This is why Jim Nobles was in the Star Tribune today, the former legislative auditor, nonpartisan, universally trusted, and he's just really taking a hammer to people who are defending the status quo. Like, listen, we've been saying there's financial control issues for a long time.
And no one's listening to us.
Or they choose to not ignore it. Or when legislators would supply this information to people, we did, have people who are investigators in the agencies, and they would put together a package and they would give it to the counties, and the counties wouldn't prosecute.
Well, that's why I have such an issue with the likes of Walls saying, well, now we're going to get to the bottom of this. You've been in charge this entire time.
Well, it's
and you were presented information, and your office refused to do anything about it at the time.
So ultimately, this is just the ball is now in the court of Minnesotans, right? Like, this is Minnesota. You've got to decide whether this is important to you or not. You know, there's a bunch of competing narratives out there, competing, political sides pointing fingers and blaming people. You just have to figure out if this is acceptable to you.
Matters.
Does it matter to you or not? I find dark humor in the fact that now this is news. It's 2025. And
soon to be 2026.
I find dark humor in it because I'm like, okay, you saw me give these speeches on the House floor. You saw other people give these speeches. You saw onesie, twosie reports. You've seen the prosecutions from the Department of Justice. They tried to bribe a federal juror and got caught, okay?
With a bag of money from Monopoly with a dollar sign on it.
Okay, so you have like just an exhaustive amount of details. And now people are surprised, like, oh, I had no idea it was this bad. It's just, again, I don't know how many commercial spaces with grayed out, blacked out windows for daycare do you have to see? It's like, it's common sense.
Right.
This has been going on for a while. Listeners, you just have to decide if this is important to you or not, or if you're going to get distracted and care about something else.
We're preaching to the choir to our listeners, but let me ask you this then, not to get too personal. Is this one of the main reasons why you decided it wasn't worth it anymore?
Oh, no, that wasn't. I'd done it for 20 years. It was just time to move on.
Okay.
So,
I didn't know what role that played in your decision.
No, again, it's frustrating. But it's when one of the things that's tough about these stories is that you lose the benefit of nuance. It's like, oh, everybody in government is dumb and stupid and on the take.
Are you on our Facebook page again?
No. But like, you guys, there are authentic whistleblowers in state government who have been afraid to go to their managers with this stuff because they could get punished. And so when they instill in you the trust of like, hey, this is what I found, like, you take that responsibility seriously. So there are really good actors in government who recognize that the worst part about this fraud is it's stealing money from the people who really need it, whether it's autism services, transportation services, or likewise. This is money being stolen from people who truly need it.
Yep.
So, you take a more nuanced view of it, but anyone who is like, well, I didn't know this was going on. I was like, well, you got to pay attention. Okay, you got to be an informed citizenry. But again, you know what? If you don't care, fine. Go make some more popcorn, pop on Netflix. That's someone else will figure that out. But there are, John, did you have other news? Because there is other.
I was going to ask you if you heard, did you hear we had Arnie Carlson on last
Yes.
Friday. And Arnie, he hit the nose on the head. He said, the fact that nobody in government either, mentioned this or noticed it, whichever, is ridiculous. He said that there's no way that can happen.
Well, so he, again, we have an Office of the Legislative Auditor that has issued many reports that for those of us who were in the legislature read this stuff, it was all there. And the agency's response was to attack the Office of the Legislative Auditor. It wasn't to look at their internal financial controls. And whether you like or dislike Arnie Carlson, this is a guy with audit experience. I thought you guys' interview with him was great, by the way. guy sharp as a tack in his 90s.
It was nice.
I hope I'm like that one in my 90s.
Rook and I played a major role in that interview, so you're welcome.
Right. Yeah.
Whose birthday was it?
I don't know. Can't
Yeah.
remember. I can't keep track.
So, but no, like this is about competence, and he made this reference too about like, maybe you should have people with management experience who are going to run the state. I don't know. But it's no, Minnesotans need to decide if this is acceptable or what needs to happen. And it's just that simple. You need to figure it out. For me, this is nothing new. I really do wonder if people, like for those of us who've been talking about this, I wonder if they thought we were lying. Like, did they think we were making this stuff up?
Initially they might have, but they have no excuse to believe that now. I mean, you've got mountains of evidence that proves you guys weren't lying.
Yeah, but
Part of it's the silo thing you were talking about, though, Pat.
Yeah.
I think half those people just went, well, I don't care what they say. Well, I don't care what Pat says. He's a Republican.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like I guess I have this defect of like whenever someone tries pitching a story to me or reading something, I immediately try to seek out the contrarian argument to find out if it's true or not.
Why are you lying to me? The whole
You know what I mean. So, but like in this case, and one of the hard parts is I lose track about what's public and what's not public.
Sure.
Right. Sure. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that like this Nick Shirley guy, he didn't just fly. Well, actually, I can share this because House Majority Leader Harry Niska shared this. The guys in that video, they got their information from state staff. They like, go look at these daycares. Here's the numbers. It's not like this guy just flew in and randomly picked these daycares. Right. And it wasn't
he was provided information from
moles. Yeah, from House staff. And then the same thing, like remember, Jake Holes reported on this in January. Right? I mean,
Yep.
So this is, and we're just talking about the daycare side of things, but you can, from a forensic perspective, when you start having 1,000% increases in programs without a corresponding population accounting for it, it just,
it doesn't pass the smell test.
It does not. Yeah. So, but we have. So it'll be, John. It's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. But I will just tell you, this is not going away. It is going to increase. The federal government is involved, and at some point, we just have to have an honest conversation as Minnesotans, not as Republicans or Democrats, but as just Minnesotans who love this state, that our delivery of public services is broken. Okay? We are not we are a poorly run state. Our service delivery is broken, and we need to do a better job.
You know who is going away for just a brief moment? We are. Because we are nuts, and we
nuts.
are nuts. MN.com. I think I told you guys, the boy and I did a road trip a little over a week ago. 3 jars of cinnamon toffee peanuts he wolfed down on that road trip to Cleveland and back. And he wanted more, so we had to stop at Fratelloni's and get some more cinnamon toffee peanuts. But that's the beauty of it. Yes, Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores, Lunds and Barley's, Kowalski's Markets, Cub Foods, Coburn's, Quick Trip. It's everywhere right now. So what do we go through the most? We cinnamon toffee peanuts, Hokey Pokey popcorn, and the cashews and the maple bourbon toffee almonds are the biggest hits in my household. But you can see their entire lineup online at wearenutsmn.com. Handmade in small batches right here in the great state of Minnesota. And it's a wonderful family-owned operation. And it's been a great relationship here with the family of We Are Nuts and wearenutsmn.com. If you're not able to make it any one of those locations, like I said, just place your order online at wearenutsmn.com. And please do me a favor and mention that you heard about them here on the Garage Logic podcast. Here's a guy ready to do his liner read from the previous segment.
Whoops.
Johnny Hyde in the newsroom.
Thanks, Chris. I should mention before we do this second, somewhat lighter segment of news that it's brought to you by North American Banking Company. Thanks, fellas, as always.
Thanks for saying that again.
1 decade after an investment firm was created to help save Sears from its demise, well, hasn't worked out so well. 5 Sears stores are still operating in the United States.
Really?
And they won't be around much longer, according to industry experts. Neither will Seritage Growth Properties, the real estate investment trust created in 2015 to cash in on the value of the retailer's properties. It abandoned its somewhat audacious plan to turn Sears' rich real estate holdings into mixed-use properties, and today, Seritage is offloading the last of its assets as it pays down a $1.6 billion term loan from Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. Adam Metz is CEO of Seritage. He said in an interview, the goal is to sell the remaining Seritage assets as quickly and profitably as possible, but we are also very open to an alternative transaction that could enhance shareholder value. The stores here in the St. Paul area, they have seen various redevelopments since they were put up for sale by Seritage back in 2022. After being acquired by the founder of Frogtown's Mungtown Marketplace, the former Sears store at the Maplewood Mall is now an indoor shopping bazaar featuring Southeast Asian vendors and a video game arcade, as well as a Pan-Asian Center performance space for collectible sales and traveling shows, including the recent Festival of Lights. In St. Paul, the Sears department store at 425 Rice Street closed in January 2019, and long-standing plans for a full-scale redevelopment with housing, offices, and ground-level retail never materialized. A Twin Cities partnership backed by an Illinois investor purchased the site mid-2023, then quickly sold it that same year to Twin Cities-based Asian Media Access, which announced plans for a charter school, a 3D-themed theme park, a hotel, and other attractions that have never moved forward. The most active use of that Rice Street location has been its parking lot, which has hosted Pan-Asian night markets, amateur wrestling, a tequila festival,
Yeah!
and other outdoor events.
So, if I'm hearing you correctly, how we're going to combat a legendary name in a store that's been operating for 100,000 years because of online purchasing kind of taking its place is we're going to put in an arcade
Apparently.
where everyone plays video games online in their home.
Gonna bring back Aladdin's Castle.
Oh, my God.
Remember this?
Yeah, that's way back.
Remember the mall video game store places?
Oh, yeah.
Aladdin's Castle.
Well, I mentioned, I think this was during the break, but I was in Cleveland a week ago. Do you guys remember the scene where they filmed the Christmas Story scene with Santa? My son and I walked past that because
Higbee's.
it was in Cleveland. Thank you, Higbee's.
Yep.
And we walked through there to get to our parking ramp. This is 5 days before Christmas. It was empty.
Ho, ho.
It was just, but you could tell in its day it had to have been just festive and just
Oh,
cool.
sure, the window treatment just like Dayton's.
But it was sad. It was so sad.
Hollywood wrapped up a turbulent year with big ticket sales this past weekend. Big ticket sales went to Avatar, Fire and Ash, and Timothée Chalamet's new film, Marty Supreme. As expected, James Cameron's latest trip to Pandora dominated ticket sales, collecting $88 million over the 4-day Christmas to Sunday period and $64 million on the weekend, according to studio estimates on Sunday. In 2 weeks, Fire and Ash has amassed $217.7 million in North America. Internationally, $542.7 million. Wow. That means it's already made money because it cost about $400 million to make. Much of the heat in the theaters over Christmas and on the weekend belonged to Marty Supreme. That's A24's biggest budget release ever. It's a 1950s set table tennis drama collecting $27.1 million over the 4-day weekend. A smash success for indie studios. Great reviews in that one for Timothée Chalamet. That was not expected to finish number 2. Number 2 was supposed to be Anaconda, a big screen comedy starring Jack Black and
God. Are you serious?
big screen comedy starring Jack Black and Paul Rudd. That collected $23.7 million over the 4-day holiday weekend.
John, did you say table tennis?
Table tennis? Yeah,
Well, there's
it's,
that new movie out.
it
Yeah,
looks pretty cool from the
Yes.
previews, actually.
This is this Marty Supreme.
Yeah,
It's about ping pong.
he's a ping pong champion, I believe. I don't know the whole story.
And it's number 2 at the box office
Yeah, and Chalamet's getting incredible reviews in it.
as a ping pong player.
As a ping pong player, that's correct.
Huh.
Let's hear him out. What's it
Well,
about?
I mean,
Give us the
the,
storyline.
the public is never wrong. There must be something
It
to
just
it.
goes back and forth.
Ah, nice.
I'll give
Okay.
you one. No, I'll give you one. That was pretty good.
That was
Well
that was
done.
good.
Are you willing to take questions from the listener? Loyal
That depends what the question is.
Loyal Town Council member Mark. No, Mark's great. Hey, if you guys have time, please ask Pat, since he's filling in today, how he did with his King of the Hill wager, since he talked about that the last time he was on with Joe. Thanks, and have a happy new year. Uh-oh.
Yeah, don't go.
Oh, no.
So, for those that don't know, loyal listeners know that I
Survivor League type
yeah,
of deal.
so last year I made $30,000 in a Survivor League. It was there's a big contest out in Las Vegas run by the Circuit Casino. It's $1,000 to enter, and then basically either you win every single game, or if you lose one, you're out. And last year there was a whole bunch of upset wins in the first 3 weeks. I made it through that, survived, and then I sold my entry 3 weeks into it, and was hoping for a repeat this year. That did not happen.
It's funny how gambling can humble a man, huh?
Well, what humbles a man is when, I mean, it was the most, for those who are fans of pro football, it was this bizarre game between the Arizona Cardinals.
That's what got me. I was
The
knocked up for the
Tennessee-
same one.
the Tennessee Titans.
Yes.
And you guys, I can't get too dialed up about it because we'll never know the reason why, but it is like, for whatever reason, God wanted the Arizona Cardinals to lose that game. He
did.
I mean, the guy is running into the end zone and just drops the ball before he runs in. They intercept a pass from the Titans, and the guy, he not only does he just for no reason fumble the interception, there's a picture where you can see 4 Cardinals around the ball on the ground. And they converge on it. One of them kicks the ball into the end zone where a Tennessee Titans player happens to run over and land on it. It just, for whatever reason, sometimes God just wants you to lose. And that's what happened.
Or
and
let's find out what those guys were, the baseball thing, or what's going on.
no,
here.
they couldn't. Listen,
You couldn't have scripted this
If it
any
was
better,
if
yeah.
it was fixed, you couldn't have done it this way. It was seriously, it was incredible, and the Titans at the time. So, anyways, so now that
You're out.
So I'm out. The contest is now, they're going into the last week. It's an $18.7 million prize pool, and there's 6 people left.
Oh,
Because
So what?
Crap.
18.7 million, because so everyone puts $1,000 in.
Yep.
There were 18,700 entries, and throughout the year, people lost. But what's unique about this contest is Thanksgiving is its own week. So the 3 games on Thanksgiving, and then the day afterwards, those 4 games are their own week. And this year, all 4 underdogs won.
It's true. Yeah.
And yeah, so it's down to 6 people now. And there's things you can do where you can monetize your entry by hedging it and stuff. But
What? Explain to me this then. For those 6 people, it's like the heads and tails game at a fundraiser. You know, when you flip the coin, you got your heads or your tails. What if they all are out
Then
next
they
week?
split it.
then they split it.
Oh, okay.
Right, but
Okay.
but there you have to realize the farther on you get in this, there are different strategies you can use to monetize your entry. So you can just sell your entry to someone else.
Oh, I'd be selling that thing right now. Because
Well,
18
Yeah,
week
there'd be a little
18 is
pressure by my wife.
it's so
to say,
unpredictable because you don't know who's going to play, who's going to actually make an effort, and who's not.
Or, and again, coming into this week, you can do things like, okay, my entry has an implied value of $100,000. Well, the
Sold.
casino the casino will give you a line of credit to bet $15,000 on the other side of it. So if your entry loses, then your $15,000 wager wins, and you can cash out that way. So going into I'm sorry, big tangent here.
No, it's good.
So Thanksgiving, Christmas week, going into that, you had 3 games, right? Dallas, Washington, Minnesota, Detroit, and Kansas City,
Denver.
Okay. So people have used a lot of these teams already. You can only use a team once. So people were really limited in their options. And there were 4 people who picked the Vikings to win.
Because they were the only team they had.
It
as
was
an
that or
option.
Kansas City. Remember, everyone was
Yeah.
on their 3rd string quarterback, right?
Yeah.
And those 4 people won. They made it through. And so, but again, it's all about, you just got to pick one entry each week. Of course, it's very hard to do that, but it's a really. Thanks for the question. What was his name?
Mark.
Mark. Thanks for the question. I always like reliving my losses, but it was no. But it's a fun contest, and like I actually run like my own Survivor League just for fun. People put $10 in and up to 5 entries. And last going into Christmas week, there were only 3 entries left. One of them was my brother. And my brother had a huge advantage because the 2 guys left, they had to take Dallas, and he was the only one who had Detroit. And then Detroit, of course, just totally shit the bed, and so he lost from that. I will say, I hope my brother isn't listening right now, but it was enjoyable reading his text messages. Just, but no, it's a fun little contest, and what I do now is I kind of share entries with people. I don't,
Sure.
That $1,000 thing was kind of a fluke, but it's a good time. So I do have one thing before I go here. I wanted to just make sure everyone knows about. And this is in the area of food, being the president of the Minnesota Grocers Association.
MGA.
MGA. I'm a big fan of talking about food and groceries, and the you guys eat like frozen pizzas and stuff, right?
Hell yes.
Sure.
Okay. Just it's not a plug.
You got a special?
No. It's just, yeah. Tell them Pat said you.
Well, MGA affiliated.
Coupons for us,
How fun would it be if I did that?
I think
if
it would be-
if I picked one of the stores, I said, if you go to Store X, tell them Pat sent you. They'll give you a 2 for 1.
Go to Vogel's on Randolph and Fairview.
watch me get fired. I'm not going to do that.
No, okay.
I just last night I had a Kowalski's pizza. Like they have their own in-house pizza.
Oh, yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, they make a good slice.
So, but anyways, unrelated to that. So, there is the North Market in North Minneapolis. I don't know if you saw this.
Yes.
Pillsbury United Communities. The store it's a nonprofit. Announced last week that they're gonna close the store, and they cited financial concerns and the small margins. It's difficult to run a grocery store, and of course the policy consideration here is that we don't want to have food deserts where people can't buy groceries. So they've been the store has been relying on philanthropy for 30% of its funding, and that still wasn't enough to keep them open. So
Wow.
So that's going to be closing. They say they have plans to they're going to pause, and then they're going to try to reopen it with a different model at some point in the future. But the good news is that you do not need to fret because a solution is on the way.
What
do
is
we
the
got?
solution?
What do we got?
Oh, this is
And
great
this
news.
this is breaking news. This is from KSTP. This came out this was yesterday. Minneapolis city leaders are considering opening a city-owned grocery store to address the lack of access to fresh, affordable food in some communities. The recent announcement of North Market's closure, that's that place that closed, has expanded the food desert in North Minneapolis, prompting discussions about a city-run grocery store. Last year, the Minneapolis City Council allocated $200,000 during its most recent budget cycle for initial investments in the city-run grocery store idea. Councilmember Robin Wansley said the first steps include identifying partners and finding a location. The government needs to fill in the gaps, step into the void the private market is not meeting, is what she said. When asked if the city can effectively manage a grocery store, Wansley responded, quote, "It's the same as the city caring for our roads, public housing, and water," end quote.
Yeah, just what I want, to buy a head of lettuce that's been sitting in a city warehouse for the last 3 weeks, and
Well, I'm
the
sure.
freshest ingredients.
I'm
I'm going to
sure-
Kowalski's for my freshest ingredients. I can tell you that right now.
It's we'll see how that turns out. I really, really hope the city of Minneapolis doesn't go down the route of the city-run grocery store because it'll, in all seriousness, it'll make matters worse. Because
Well, it worked out well in Kansas City.
yeah, it worked out. Yeah,
And
So-
didn't Seattle try that too? And
well, there's a lot of if you look at the food it's hard to run a grocery store. It's labor intensive. It's capital intensive. You have constant turnover. You have dollars sitting on your shelves in terms of inventory. In some neighborhoods, you have to compete with unenforced theft. On top of that, you've got, particularly in Minneapolis and St. Paul, you have labor mandates that drive up the cost of labor in the...
Because the minimum wage goes into effect tomorrow as well. Or not tomorrow, but...
it's an increased minimum wage, which I think in Minneapolis now, I think is up to $16.17.
Statewide, it's 11, correct?
Yeah, so there's a much higher there. And then the paid family leave mandate that is going into effect. And
Pat, just because it didn't work in the private sector, the city is here to save us because they'll make it work.
I have to assume that people are going to want to avoid this shit show, and it's not going to happen. The Minneapolis City Council elections actually went pretty good this year. In terms of like they moved the dial towards pragmatism and adulthood, and I have to think that
towards adulthood.
Well, no, I mean,
you're right.
what do you when you're talking about we're not talking about progressives and DFLers here. We're talking about like the DSA.
Yeah.
Okay, these are like the seize the means of production crowd.
Yeah.
When you're talking about these people, I don't know on their way, like you have to moving towards adulthood. That's the best way I can.
You're right.
Describe it. But anyway, so that's on that note that. Hopefully, we are able to see some more private sector solutions towards expanding food access in the Twin Cities because it is a big deal, and everyone has to eat, so we should be able to agree on that. But once again, I want to say thank you guys. Joe, be back soon. Good luck with the new daycare you're building. I hope it goes well. We'll catch you guys next time. As always, fun seeing you guys. Have a great New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
Pat.
Thank you.